United States of America is the home of the favorite pastime of baseball and football. For others, it's the legendary image of the cowboy John Wayne riding off into the sunset that brings the world back to the vision of the wild, rugged American character. For others, it's the Old Town Church House, where men and women can worship the Creator freely without fear, which shows the world that we are one nation under God. And for others, it's the vision of Old Glory, waving over the American embassy in a foreign, hostile nation that brings a broken and desolate people a vision of hope and a chance to start over. All these things are what America is to the world, and they do represent America's true character. But even though the Cowboys and Indians, the baseball game, and the monuments to freedom are what many envy about America, there is one part of our nation that makes us truly as a shining city upon a hill. It is our government. The United States of America is a republic, as in a government in which the supreme power resides in a body of citizens entitled to vote and exercised by elected officials and representatives, responsible to them and who govern according to law. Now, the study of government isn't always the most interesting thing to learn about, and it can be pretty boring. But it's important that we, as citizens, understand how we are governed and how our freedoms are protected. For if we do not understand this, how will we know when our elected leaders are violating their authority and infringing upon your God-given rights? Our government is just 225 years old, young compared to many world governments. Our founding fathers framed our government to endure the test of time and to grant equal rights instead of equal things to the citizens of America. But what many do not realize is that what inspired our founders to form three branches for our government was this Bible verse, Isaiah 33:22, which states that the Lord is our King, our lawmaker, and our judge. Number one, who is our king? The first branch is the executive branch, in which the president serves as the head of the country. Also serving in the executive branch is the vice president, the Speaker of the House, the President pro tempore, and the cabinet. Now, this particular branch serves as a chain of command to ensure that we always have a leader. Article 2, Section 1, Clause 8 of the U.S. Constitution states that before he enter on the execution of his office, he shall take the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. In 1789, when George Washington was sworn in as our first president, he added the words, "So help me God," to the presidential oath, to reaffirm his reliance and dedication to God. And every president since then has used those words. The president is assigned to enforce the laws of America. Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the U.S. Constitution states that the president shall be commander-in-chief of the military forces. The Constitution also gives the president the power to call Congress into special session and adjourn them when he sees fit, as well as appoint ambassadors and federal judges. He is the only nationally elected politician, and he chooses the vice president upon his nomination. The vice president serves as president of the Senate, and every vice president from John Adams to Richard Nixon presided over the Senate until Lyndon B. Johnson halted this duty to focus on executive affairs. Article 1, Section 3, Clause 4 of the U.S. Constitution says that the vice president can only vote when there is a tie vote. Then we have the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who is elected by the House of Representatives and presides over the House. Next is the President pro tempore, or the temporary president, who is the only one in the line of succession to sit in the Senate and used to preside over the Senate in the vice president's absence. The president's cabinet members serve as his advisors. Thus, the president appoints men and women to serve in these positions who will serve the country in its best interest. Now, what does the Constitution say about the executive branch? It says in Article 2, section for that, the President and the Vice President and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. Our Constitution was written in such a way that while it will always limit the power of our leaders, it allows for administrative changes to occur. An example of this in the executive branch is that 11 more departments have been added to the original 4-member cabinet, thus giving us 15 executive departments. And originally, the president was elected through the Electoral College, which was chosen based on the amount of senators and representatives the state had. But soon, popular vote would choose the electors, and all electoral votes of the state went to the presidential candidate receiving the most votes in that state. Number 2, our lawmakers. The legislative branch of our government is the Congress, who serve as our lawmakers. They are the representatives of the people. And there are 2 houses in the Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives. And there are a total of 535 congressmen, 100 senators, and 435 representatives. Now, how does the Congress work? In the House, representatives represent state districts of 30,000 or less, and each state has at least 1 representative. A representative serves for a 2-year term and must be at least 25 years old and a citizen of the United States. If a representative dies or resigns, the Constitution gives the state the authority to call for a special election to fill that seat. And in cases of impeachment against the president, the House draws the charges, the Senate acts as a jury, and the Chief Justice presides. The Senate is comprised of 2 senators from each state, and each senator is given 1 vote. A senator serves for a 6-year term, and his sole job in the Senate is to defend a state's right. He must be at least 30 years old and a citizen of the United States. Now, how has the legislative branch changed since its creation? Originally, the election of senators was upon the state legislature, but following the ratification of the 17th Amendment, it was moved to the people. And during the 66th Congress, which ran from 1919 to 1921, the offices of Senate Majority and Minority Leaders were created to serve as the spokespersons for the parties they represent. Number 3, who is our judge? The Supreme Court is the head court of the land. Whenever a law is made, they see if it is constitutional. The Constitution gives the Supreme Court appellate jurisdiction, meaning they have the authority to review a ruling from a lower court. The Supreme Court is headed by the Chief Justice, and currently 8 other justices are under him. In the courts, the Constitution declares that there should be a trial by jury, save an impeachment, and that everybody has the right to a speedy and public trial. And if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. For you have a right to justice. In the past, the court would offer review past rulings to help set a verdict, and they used biblical principles in these rulings. However, since 1964, this type of ruling has stopped. Now, how do the branches of our government work together? When our founders were forming our government, they knew that at one point, one of the branches could easily overpower the others. So they created the system of checks and balances, which allows each of the branches to keep a check on each other. As you can see, our Constitution is a firm document created by the belief that we as a nation have a manifest destiny. Our Constitution limits the roles of our government while allowing for administrative changes to occur. Our founders envisioned a growing nation, but our nation can only grow through the vigilancy of its citizens and their understanding of the foundation that our founders gave us. For it is with this foundation, which is based upon your God-given rights, that we as a nation grow and we remain strong. Thank you.